months ago I blogged on, what does it take to be an international leader in virtual design and construction. And I had some friendly comments to my blog, and I had some not so friendly comments, replies to my blog, because at the end of the day I really chickened out and didn't declare one region of the world the leader over any other. So today I'm prepared to drive that stake in the ground and make that statement, and I'll talk about that in a moment. The second thing I'd like to get to is I did a presentation at a user conference of CMIC's this past, what was it? I guess it was in the fall. Was it in the fall? It was months ago. And it was pretty much an IT crowd, and they wanted to know what the BIM thing for construction was all about. And afterwards, so I tried to go through a typical workflow and a progression of what a company may do, starting with the first steps and doing some 3D work and then going on from there. And I got some feedback afterwards that that was pretty useful for people who are not immersed in this on a daily basis. And so I thought I would repeat that because it's a bit of a roadmap, and if nothing else, it will show you what a geek I am when it comes to thinking in flowcharts and that type of thing. So back to the first subject then, on the issue of virtual design and construction leadership. In that blog, I pointed to 5 factors that I said were really important in determining how well a construction industry, whether it's the US or Japan or the European continent or the Nordic countries, the UK, whatever, top 5 factors that would influence how fast virtual design and construction was really taking root and accelerating there. And in no particular order, those things were the degree to which the competition is really open versus the winners of the general contracting competition were predetermined somehow or heavily favored for any number of reasons. That open competition kind of fostered innovation. The degree to which industry, the construction industry specifically, and higher educational institutions were partnered. I would cite, for example, in the U.S., the SIFI partnership between Stanford and the construction industry partners. And I think you all know this one just instinctively, the degree to which that society, whether it's the U.S., the U.K., or France, is litigious. And litigiousness is a real word. My spell checker didn't bounce it. But I think, the degree to which a construction project can be optimized out of court instead of everybody worrying about how they're going to look in court has a big impact on how willing people are to innovate and try new processes. I think there's a cultural difference in problem solving that we've observed, and the planners versus the experimenters tend to approach something so new as BIM and construction differently. And then also the ratio of government to private. I focused on government spending in building construction versus private spending in building construction because in most countries the government is the largest building owner. And I'll point to Singapore as an example. The government is the largest building owner. It's a heavily regulated industry in Singapore, and they can mandate change overnight and have done so. And if there's a very large private sector that pretty much defines the economy, as in, for example, UK, US, Western Europe, then it's harder for everybody to get on one page. The GSA has done a great job trying to drive initiatives in the United States, but and they are, as far as I know, still the biggest building owner in the country. But they can't mandate change overnight, and they know it, so they've kind of tried to do, I think, a very rational thing. So those 5 things kind of laid it out for me, and when I wrote that blog, however long ago that was, I really did have a leader in mind, and today it's still true. If you look at Finnish construction companies and how the industry operates in this country, it really is, I think, where virtual design and construction leads in the world. They have all of these factors going for them, from research and sponsorships by the government to the educational institutions. It's not a litigious society at all. When something goes awry in the project, everybody gets together immediately, puts their thinking caps on, and fixes it. And the last thing they worry about is pointing fingers and blame. So it's not panacea, but these guys really are cooking, and they're going really, really deep. You can talk to people in any of the construction companies here, and they really understand the subject. They've tried every piece of software, every new process. They really are, I think, leading the world in virtual design and construction today. So it's probably no accident. I think they're very focused on doing just that. So for whomever I've offended in the audience, at least I finally declared what I really think in terms of who's doing what, and we'll see how that evolves over time.